Alright, we're back again. All that happened since our last video is I slept. You can see it's morning. You can still kind of see the dawn on the horizon over there. Alright, we've got a lot of tree clearing to do. I'm going to spread out some of these mushrooms that we harvested earlier, far enough out to where I think they won't likely that should be okay. They won't likely be hindered by our tree clearing, I will say, because you see crops in this game need certain light levels to grow. Now, with crops like these, the light level needs to be high enough for them to grow, but for mushrooms, the light level needs to be low enough. They like to grow in shadow. If it gets too bright, they might just pop right out of the ground and just lay there on the ground, and if you don't pick them up, then they'll despawn. I think the despawn timer is 5 minutes long. So you have to be mindful of that when you're knocking stuff over like this. If you don't pick it up pretty quickly, it can disappear. So we're going to harvest all of those sugar cane real easy. They grow to 3 height. And we just chop them off at height 2 so that they can keep growing. We don't have to replant them. And you know what, this is basically all ripe. I'm just going to knock the whole thing down. We could wait for all of it, but that seems like a waste. What we were doing at the beginning with harvesting them as they became ripe, that was because we were low on food. Speaking of, I'm hungry. And we wanted to make sure that we had food before we started to starve. So we harvested that whole field and we got just a little over 2 stacks of seeds, way more than we need to replant the field. We're going to grab that. We're going to turn that into seeds too. Probably a little more than we really need, but alright. Harvest that. We accidentally knocked over the one that was on the ground. Planted, whatever you want to call it. Sugarcane only grows within 1 space of the water, 1 block of the water. I'm going to grab all this real quick. Alright. We have got a heck of a lot of tree chopping to do. I think we will make an iron axe to make it go just a little faster. We'll use up this stone axe, of course. And show you how to make a sword. I'm going to make a stone sword for a reason that you will see in just a moment. Normally I would take some of this iron and make a sword. An axe, oops, too much. Only need 2. The axe shape, as you may recall, is like that. You can also put it like that. Put it this way, you get a pickaxe. That way you get a hoe. And this way you get a shovel. Keep it memorized, then you don't have to click through here, it slows you down. On that first day, it makes a big difference. Alright, we're going to put that there. That'll work. We didn't plant our seeds. Oops, we should do that before we show you how I do that. Nice and quick when you just walk sideways. You walk forward, sometimes you miss some from going too fast. Whoops. Melon grew while I wasn't paying attention. That's the one we already harvested from earlier. You can see once those stalks finally grow, they They produce pretty quickly, though sometimes it takes a long time for them to grow. Alright, now our field is already planted. Did I know that I'd made it exactly 64 spaces? No, I did not, but it sure looks like I did, and that's pretty cool. Alright. Got that and that. I was going to show you what you can make with sugarcane. 3 across, you can make paper. 1 across, you can make sugar. Let's see how much paper we can make. Plenty. Excellent. Alright. Let's put that paper there, seeds there, seeds there. Let's plant that flower, dirt in, weed in. You need to do something about those stairs. We're out of space. I've been putting it off too long. It's time to make another chest. Oops, I don't need that many. I'll make something else too. 1, 2. Alright. As you can see, doesn't matter what kind of wood I make it out of, it makes the same thing. Some things require it all to be the same wood, some of them let you mix and match. Mix and match. There's one other thing that we're needing now that we have lots of seeds. Interesting. I guess I have to turn into blocks first. Planks, rather. Alright. Huh. Okay. I guess it is called a stone cutter, even though it looks like a saw. We are going to make a waste bin. They call it a composter. And we'll put that composter, for now we'll put it here. Oops, wrong thing. And now we'll put it here. That's more like it. Okay. So we have all these extra seeds, right? We have a whole stack here. We only need 1 stack to plant that entire field. Maybe we don't want this many. I can just toss it in here. It's making magical green sparkles. It looks a lot like dirt, doesn't it? And when you get enough of it in there, it turns into bone meal. Which is funny, because we didn't put any bones in there. But what bone meal is a fertilizer, and that does make sense. We're putting stuff in here, we're letting it turn back into dirt, and it gives us bone meal. Wonderful. Now somewhere in here we just unlocked a white dye, I think. Let's see how we make that. Just 1 bone meal. Why not? Let's see if white dye plus red bed equals white bed. Nope. Okay. There must be bleach. I think there's something like bleach or dye remover or something. Anyway, we don't really need this white dye. I'll show you what happens when if you hit Q, it just tosses it out. If we don't pick that up, it'll just disappear. By the time we come back, it might not be there anymore. It's going to be night soon. So it might still be there when we come back. We'll see. Let's harvest these. We are going to chop this tree down. It's in our way, cramping our style. Where'd those seeds go? I don't know. All right. And we're going to need to break some of these vines. And we are going to do the same way we did with those dark oak trees. We are going to carve ourselves a staircase all the way up this tree. We're going to be a little careful because we don't want to fall off. Not when we're up at the top of this thing. This thing could be 30 blocks tall. If it is, we are chopping into it way too late at night. But there's some tricks that I can show you about what to do with overgrown trees, time schedules that you didn't manage properly when you're up at the top of one. We're going to get up all the way to the top as quick as we can. And hope it's not already dark. Alright, see how much faster it goes with an iron axe? Feels like it's half the time, doesn't it? Sure feels like that to me. I accidentally cut this tree wrong. Luckily we are at the top. We're going to finish cutting the top. You hear all those leaf blocks breaking all around us. Check out what we can do. Oh, you know, that's looking a little close. I'm not going to show you that trick. I was going to jump into the water, but I don't think I'll make it. That's how my last character died. I saw a gap and I was like, I think I can make that jump. I jumped and I did not make it. So we're going to have to go down the hard way. There will probably be monsters down there by the time we get down there. Oh well. Show you a little trick for cutting trees. I'm just going to land right in the center of all these blocks so we can just chop them fast. If we did it right, we won't take any damage, we won't fall. Remember what I said about stuff disappearing? That one hasn't disappeared yet, those are still good. We're getting into bed, and hopefully a creeper doesn't jump on us in the night. That was a little dangerous what we just did there. That block's still there. Alright, let's pick up the rest of them. Everything's breaking all around us. We just got more than a stack of logs, I think, off of just that one tree. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I missed a spot. Oh man. Okay, let's see about getting up there. Let's see. Climb up this one. Alright. Climb up this one. Up. I say, up. Whoa! That was quite a fall. We need food now. So if we fall like that again, well, we'll be okay, but it won't be good. Alright, now we're full, and soon our health will be too. Let's try that again. A little more carefully this time. A little more carefully this time. Oh, we ended up picking up that die after all. Look, it's in my hand right now. Alright, maybe we can make this work, because I am not a fan of floating tree bergs. You may have gathered that from my comments earlier. Alright. We're going to have to get out of here in a hurry once we break that. Alright, I think that's it. Time for us to get down these vines. Is it all breaking? If it isn't, we're going to have to go back up again. Looks like it's all breaking. There's another way to solve that problem too. We could build a tower of dirt or something to get up there, but this was easier a little bit, even though we fell a couple of times. All right. Now we can take care of this little tree bird too. Make sure we have our plan of escape ready. We're just going to run and jump over to that one, because this one's going to start coming apart as soon as we break it. All right, we made it. And you can hardly take any damage that time. Alright. Man, how much more open does this place already feel? I know, right? Okay, so I'd say next on the chopping block is our bamboo. So we can just eat that slowly with any old thing and it'll break and drop all the pieces above where you broke it. Or that takes a little while. Or you can whack with any kind of sword, even a stone one. Wood ones probably work too. That's what I should have made. Any kind of sword instantly breaks it. Which doesn't seem that great until you do something like that. You know. Now, it's just raining bamboo. If I had wanted to, I could have cut all of those in about 1 second. Just. But I showed it to you in slow motion, so to speak, so you could appreciate the difference in speed. It's not that big a deal when there's only like 12 of them. But if you've got a big field, like 60 of them or something, it's so much faster. Of course, there's even more efficient ways to do it than that, but that is definitely not beginner stuff. So we're not going to talk about that anytime soon. You can, using redstone machinery, like I said, like I was mentioning, you can with redstone machinery automate some of these processes that we're currently having to do by hand. But it takes a long time to build the machines unless you really know what you're doing. So we got to do everything by hand because we're at the beginning. Chop all of this stuff. Get it out of here. Tree should start breaking, probably. Now it looks like those two trees grew together, so it might not, until we chop the other one. Yeah, it looks like it even maybe grew into the jungle tree. I'm going to help that a little bit. Alright. Okay. Hopefully we can get these trees to come down before this bamboo sitting on top despawns. If not, well, bamboo grows fast. Not a big deal. So in a second here, you're going to see why I like dark oak better. If watching how easy it is didn't convince you, I will show you how hard it can get. Because this tree is right next to a pretty crazy oak tree. That was a piece of an oak tree right there. I just did my example a disservice by chopping that chunk the easy way while I was up at the top of another tree. But here we go. All right. What we have here is a crazy tree. Look at this tree. It's ridiculous. There's this other tree over here that grew into it. How are we going to chop this? Luckily, we can get pretty high up on this tree because we planted it on a hill. But if we hadn't planted it on a hill, we would have had to come from down here, and that would have been a pain. Maybe I'll chop that one over there from the ground level so you can fully appreciate it. But, so here we go. Even starting most of the way up, check it out. I'm still having to bounce up and down to get to that block there. And there's another one right next to it. Oh, what a pain, right? We're going to chop everything we can reach. And we're going to have to place some blocks to get up there. So we're going to do double wear on our tools. You know what? Rather than do double wear on our tools, I think I'm going to grab some dirt. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up digging, I should say, this hill down to ground level. So I'll just take some of this dirt right now and show you how you get up to that top stuff. Ding, 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 ding. All right. And now we're up high enough we can hit this one. Oh, look, there was another one hiding there. That would have been no fun at all. And then there's this one over here. Trying to jump around and get that. We couldn't have even gotten that one over there. All right. The other thing you have to do is you can't really see, so you have to dig around in the leaves to see if there are any other logs up here. Man, this is taking forever. This is why I don't like regular oak trees. Oh, there's another one right there. If we didn't chop that, it wouldn't break. Some of this could be a neighboring tree, but I've seen oak trees that were at least this hard to break. We're not done yet. We're going to be lucky if we get... Oh, I missed. See what I mean? Pain in the neck. Well, to get back up there, we're going to have to break this so we can jump on top of it anyway. Might as well do it now. We've got these other trees to get up on top of. How many dark oak saplings have we gotten so far? Only 4. Well, that treetop is still mostly intact, supported by the other oak trees. How are we doing? Looks like it's about time to sleep. Yes, okay. You can see those blocks are still breaking in the distance. All right, today we're going to finish all of this tree stuff. What a mess. What a mess. All right, normally if you start at ground level, you can go up 1 block. Here we are. Here's how hard it is. Come back, dirt. I need you to get to the top of this obnoxious tree. And I'm not even sure we're going to get to the top of this obnoxious tree because we're not up very high. Alright, that's the top of the center part of the tree. Let's see if we can get all of the sides with just 4 blocks of dirt. Might not be enough. Might have to go jumping around inside of these leaves. In fact, yep, definitely going to have to go jumping around inside of these leaves. This is why I like dark oak, and the time it took us to harvest 2, we couldn't even harvest 1 of these. Ooh, that's a proper tree. That one was short though. Okay. Especially when you plant them close together like that, they can just get out of control. Alright, there's another one. More than another one. 3, 5 more? 4 more. There's that jungle tree we planted across the river. Alright, let's dig around a little more. Make sure that we got all of the logs, because if we get back down to the bottom and dig up that dirt, there it is, and find out later that we missed a little piece of dirt, it'll be an even bigger pain to get back up here later. Oh, look at that. This one I'm a little afraid of. This one I'm afraid is going to start breaking leaves. Look around a little bit more. What a mess. Another log. plus side, we get to hear the relaxing sound of rustling leaves. Alright, that's a tree. We'll get that later. We can get these last couple of wood blocks so this stuff can disintegrate properly. We need to make sure we're not standing in it when it comes apart. That could have been dirt, but it sort of looked like maybe there was wood in there. There is. Crazy, crazy trees. Yeah, it's not really a big deal, but boy is it slow, you know? That's the kind of tree that we don't chop on day one, or at least if we do, we let it be a floating tree bird for a couple of days, because we don't have time for that nonsense. Okay, I'm afraid that while we were up there trying to make sure they all broke, we might have missed some dark oak sapling drops. I really don't want to have to go back to dark oak land to get more saplings, and I'm afraid we will have to. I kind of think that they aren't going to grow well enough in the jungle for us to justify making a farm for them here. Luckily, I will show you that there is a tree or two that can be convinced to grow even more efficiently than a dark oak tree. The wood's just not as pretty. This one didn't grow too crazy, luckily. Bamboos are growing. All right. The rest of that should break on its own, I think. Just make sure that it will. And I realize I made trouble for myself. Hopefully we can reach the top of this tree without jumping. Not so. Alright. But at least we could reach it by jumping. That's important. Or that's good enough, maybe I should say. And it looks like we have one more tree here that needs chopping. Just a itty bitty onesie. Means we're going to have to break this by hand, probably. All right. The time it took us to do all of that. Our sugar cane. Not quite ready to harvest. Melons, some of them have matured. Bamboo is starting to grow, not quite done yet. Whilst we check on all these things, we can, I should say whilst we wait for all these leaf blocks to break, we can check on all these things. Whoa, just about overjumped that. And they're chucked down that jungle tree. Is that gonna break on its own? Yeah, probably not. Let's give it a little help. All right. What's this? What's this? Another tree that needs our help to die. Not that we really need to kill this one, but These other trees should be completely disintegrated by now. Pretty darn close. We did not get very many jungle tree saplings. We only got 3. That's not very many at all. Considering we planted, I think, 3. If you can't get more saplings out of the foliage of the tree than you got from, then you need to replace the trees you planted. That's not very efficient. That's the one thing that's good about oak trees. They grow like weeds. They make tons of leaves, they make tons of saplings. It doesn't matter what biome you're in. You never have to worry about oak trees growing properly. Properly enough to be farmed, I mean. Not a big deal when you're in a jungle. There are jungle trees everywhere, right? But eventually we will chop down all these trees, and we will need to be able to regrow them. You never really stop needing wood. Alright, well those trees are finally all chopped down, and those are the ones we planted. We still have all of these other trees to chop down so that monsters can't hide from us. We have a big job ahead of us. I don't think I'm going to make you watch that. I think we're going to do it on my own. But I might not be doing that before the next video. What time is it? It's almost nighttime. So I'd say that this video has probably gone on long enough. That's our little farm. It has yielded bountifully. Before we call it, let's plant these dark oak saplings, 4 of them anyway. Let's try to put them far enough away from other things that won't grow into anything else. And we will see if we get at least 4 saplings out of that tree. If we don't, then I think we have a pretty good indication that they don't grow very well in the jungle biome. Usually you get enough, even dark oaks that aren't super fertile, don't make lots of saplings. Usually you get enough saplings to not just replace them, but to make a little bit more than you had to begin with. Eventually you can make more and more trees. But in the real world, jungle soil isn't terribly fertile, so wouldn't surprise me if it's not fertile enough for those trees. We'll just have to use jungle wood, which also doesn't make very many saplings. Oh well. Alright, well thank you all for coming yet again. I hope you continue to enjoy this series of videos. Of course, if you haven't already, you can subscribe. And that way you'll know anytime I put a new video up. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I just sort of do this for fun, whenever I feel like. So sometimes there's a long time between videos. And if you subscribe, that'll let you know when they are available. Once the new ones are available again, I should say. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.